Welcome to Speedy Walkthroughs, where we show just the important stuff to beating the game. For first time viewers, this will look different to a normal walkthrough. It'll show just the essentials, so you don't need to spend a long time watching this video. Today we're playing Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. This is a remake of Pokemon Gold and Silver for the DS. I'll be showing you where to go and what to do in this game to get through the main parts of the story. Before we get stuck into it, if you end up finding this video useful, please consider subscribing to keep up to date, as it helps out the channel a whole bunch. So when you start out the game, we're going to be met with this screen, and you basically just go through all the text boxes that the professor gives to you. You're going to start off in the house here, and then you can walk downstairs and talk to your mum. Mum will give you a bunch of pause menu options. Now, unlike some previous Game Boy Advance games or Game Boy games, the pause is on the X button, not the start button, so just be aware of that. And if you're in the pause menu, you might want to set your text speed to fast and your battle scene to off if you want the game to go quickly. Basically, what we're going to do is go to the up left part of town to Professor Elm's lab and pick a starter Pokemon. Usually water's pretty good, or you can pick any of the others based on your own personal preference. The good thing about picking a water starter is that it'll be able to learn the move Surf, which is both a powerful move in battle and we'll need it to get around on the overworld, so that's often why I pick the water. Once you've done all that, we're going to head left out of town, but they'll just tell us to go back and talk to Mum for a second first. So you get the Pokegear from the Mum, and then she sort of explains how to use it. That's basically just your phone there. Once you've done that, you can actually head properly left out of town. Professor Elm will register you in the Pokegear, and then you just keep heading on left. Now, when you're on these routes, basically, if you're in the grass, you have a chance of hitting wild Pokemon, and that'll bring you into a battle. So you can either kill the Pokemon or run from the Pokemon. Those are your two options, really, or later on we'll be able to catch Pokemon. You might want to feint / kill the Pokemon early on just to get a bit more experience points and level up your starter. So you basically just head up through the grass as I've headed up through here, and we're going to head left out of the route. So once you've done that, we're just going to head left through town, and this old dude will show us around. Alright, once he's done showing us around, we just head up out of town, and then continue on your way up through this route here. Alright, so you'll probably come across a few Pokemon battles, but just keep heading upwards if you can. And you can collect up some items along the way. Potions will be really good, they'll restore 20 HP when you use them, and you also can pick up Pokeballs later on. This guy gives you the Apricorn box, but if you're trying to get to the end of the game, you won't need to worry about that too much. I'd also recommend trying to catch a bird-type Pokemon once we have Pokeballs available. You'll see why a bit later, but basically they can learn Fly, so just keep that in mind as you go through these routes, or we won't have Pokeballs available just for a little bit longer. So when the road forks, you want to take a right and continue heading up into this house, and then these guys are just going to talk to you for a while. When you leave the house, Professor Elm calls you and asks you to come back to town, so basically it's going to head down and right from this point. So continue all the way down through this route and you should get back into that town where the old dude showed us around. When we head right, we're going to come across a rival battle as well. So just make sure you're healed up here. You can use a potion on Totodile or heal in the Poke Center if you want. Up to you, but you have to fight your rival here. Once you win that, the rival runs off and then you can just keep heading right after this. So you're going to head right through this route and just make your way through. And eventually you'll make your way back to New Bark Town. You just head straight in the lab and they ask you what your rival's name. Doesn't really matter what you call the rival, so just give it whatever name you want. Alright, you leave Professor Elm's lab, and then you get a little tutorial on catching Pokemon. So if you follow this tutorial, you'll see that you can basically just throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon to catch it, and it's maybe a good idea to weaken that Pokemon first. So as I said, you want to try and catch a bird Pokemon if you can. So for example, Hoot Hoot is going to be quite good. So you'd want to weaken that and then throw a Pokeball at it, and then hopefully you'll capture the Pokemon. If it doesn't work, you just try throwing another Pokeball until it ends up working. So Hoot Hoot's going to be a good Pokemon to learn Fly. Later on we'll also need a Pokemon to learn Cut. I tend to like Sandshrew or Bellsprout. Those are some pretty good ones to use. Alright, so just head left through this route and you'll make your way to town. And then once you're in town, you can basically just continue past it. You can stock up on some items at the shop, but they don't really have many good ones yet. You just want to head up, but instead of going right at the fork, you'll go left. If you go left, you'll come across these trainers, so you just make your way up past them. They will battle you, there's pretty much no way to avoid it. And continue on up. Now, once you get up to this point, your mum's going to call you and ask if you want her to save your money. I usually say no to this. If she does save your money, she calls you all the time, and it's like quite frustrating because it like ruins your pace through the game. And she spends your money on like random items, whereas if you don't get her to save your money, you just keep the money and spend it on whatever you want. But it's personal preference. So you just head up here, you can grab that potion if you want, but then continue left. Left is the way to get to the new town, so that's where we're going to head now. Eventually when you head left, you'll come to this little gatehouse here. So we're going to talk in here and then continue heading left into the town. So this town has two things that you want to do. The first one's Bellsprout Tower, and then the second one is the gym. Now in the original game, you can completely skip Bellsprout Tower, but in this game it does make you do Bellsprout Tower, so make sure you go there. Pretty much what you want to do is head out of the Poké Center here and head up, and then you go into Bellsprout Tower. This section's fairly linear, so I'll skip forward past it, but essentially just battle trainers and pick up all the items you see. If you are trying to do this section with Totodile, it can be difficult since you're a water type, but just do the best you can. Rage is a good move to use because it keeps powering up over and over when you get hit. Now eventually you're going to get to the top of this tower here, so you talk to this dude, and then you battle it to end Bellsprout Tower. Now after you beat this dude, he's going to give you TM70, which is Flash. That will light up dark caves, for example the one to the right of this town, but we actually don't need it at all in the game. It's not mandatory to beat it. So we use the escape rope to get out of Bellsprout Tower, which you should have just picked up, and then you can heal up and head to the Pokemon gym. Alright, so when you come out of the Poké Center here, you can just head to the left to go into the gym, and then we're going to head up through here. Again, this gym's fairly linear, so I'll just skip to the end. Now it's worth mentioning, if you're new to sort of the Pokemon series, it's worth looking up a Pokemon type chart so you know what's super effective against what. For example, with these birds, you might want to use ice attacks against them, or electricity attacks against them, but we don't have any of that, so we're just going to keep using water attacks against them. The other example is in Bellsprout Tower, they all had grass attacks, so they were super effective against us, making it quite tricky. So just keep in mind that super effective stuff as you play the game, and try and line up as best you can based on what Pokemon you have. In general, a good strategy for Pokemon is to have one very strong one rather than splitting it up across multiple as you're playing through the game, just because it allows you to streamline that and put all your experience into the one Pokemon there. So Professor Elm will call you and say that there's somebody waiting with an egg for you. In the original game, that person was in the Pokemon Center, but in this remake here, that person's in the Pokemart. So we're just going to heal up here and then head to the blue building. So we'll leave the Poké Center here now that we're healed up, but we're going to head to the Pokemart, and we'll talk to this dude in the Pokemart. He's going to give us a Pokemon egg, and we need to talk to this dude to progress through this story. Absolutely have to. Alright, so they gave us an egg. That's all good. And then we're just going to head out of the mart, but before we do that, we're going to buy a few things. So a bunch of super potions to heal up. Super potions will heal 50 health, which is a lot better. And I'm also going to buy a bunch of repels just to speed up walking through those areas with wild Pokemon. Although if you're looking to catch more Pokemon, you might not want to use repels for now. The repels are a good thing to have if you have the ability to use them. So I got a few Pokeballs there, and then we're just going to head down here. This lady will talk to you, but once she's done, you just head down out of town. So through this bit past the berry tree, and if you've done everything right in town, you'll actually be able to get through past this guy. So it gives you the Miracle Seed, which powers up grass type moves, so if you did pick Chikorita as your starter, you could attach that to Chikorita just through the pause menu. You can either do it through items or through the Pokemon menu. But pretty much I'm going to use the Repel just to get through this grass without encounters, and we're going to head all the way down through this route here. Alright, we'll continue down, go past all the trainers here, and then we're going to go into this cave. If you have Totodile, like the water starter, that's going to be very good against these rock Pokemon, like Geodude in here. So it's going to be a good place to get some extra experience. You might want to try and find a Sandshrew while you're in this cave, if you can. It'll depend what version you're playing as to whether you can find it or not. So if you're playing Pokemon Heart Gold, you'll be able to find a Sandshrew, but Soul Silver you won't be able to. Soul Silver you can usually use like a Bellsprout as cut, or you'll usually have something no cut at that point. What I'm actually doing here is weakening this Onix to catch it. Later on down the line, we'll need a Pokemon that can learn the move Strength and also Rock Smash, and Onix is going to be a good Pokemon for that. Pretty much any Pokemon sort of that looks rocky is something you want. So you want a bird Pokemon, you want a rock Pokemon, you want a water Pokemon, and a Pokemon that can learn Cut. Anyway, if you weaken enough and throw Pokeballs at it, you'll eventually be able to catch Onix like this, or Geodude, or whoever you decide to catch. And then you just continue on through the cave. The cave does have a few open ends in it, so you just got to be conscious of that, but basically you just want to go through the bottom right exit. So trainers will fight you, but just get through those. And then you're basically going to come down to this bit with the two pools here. And this door down the bottom right is the door that you want to go into. Now I still haven't found Sandshrew at this point, so I'm just going to wait a little bit longer. There's my Sandshrew. So this is going to be my Pokemon that can learn Cut, which we'll need very shortly. So weaken that and then catch it if you can. Alright, once you leave the cave, you come out onto Route 33. And then you can battle this trainer if you want, but at any rate, just continue to the left through to get to Azalea Town. And you'll see Team Rocket is causing trouble there. Team Rocket's going to be recurring characters in this game, causing lots of trouble. You want to go to the house in the top left and talk to Kurt, and Kurt will be very upset that Team Rocket's causing trouble. So then Kurt will want to go to that Slowpoke well and break up Team Rocket causing trouble. So head to the right here. Go into the well. You'll see Kurt has fallen down in the well and can't get back up. So you basically got to go and handle this on your own. This section's fairly linear, but just battle through all the trainers here. At some point fairly soon, your starter's going to evolve. So that's always good. It gives a little bit of a power up. But just keep heading through Slowpoke well and you'll get towards the end here. Once you've beaten all the trainers here, Kurt's going to come back very happy and then bring you back to his house. And then we're done that little Slowpoke World side quest. Next thing we're actually going to do is head down to the gym in this town. So that's sort of the second thing we need to do here before we move on. You can heal up your Pokemon if you want in the Pokemon Center and then head down to that gym down the bottom. So when you get into the gym, there's a bit of a puzzle here. You want to go on the left bug first of all to move up here and beat this trainer. Now once you've beaten this trainer, you got a bit more of the puzzle to do. You basically want to go onto that middle bug there and fight these. And once you've beaten these, well, you can heal up your Pokemon if they got poisoned or hurt or anything like that. But then hit that switch there and then ride this thing back. And then you want to hit that switch there. And you'll get to the leader. Now if you can't beat the leader here, probably the best move is to level up a bit more beforehand. But basically, we're going to fight through the leader and then we'll be done. So we're just going to take this bug back here. And then construct the red path. And then construct the blue path, and that'll get us back. And then to get back through this section, all you need to do is run into the middle, and that'll take you back anyway. So that's going to be this gym done. Before you leave town, definitely heal up, because there's a rival fight coming up very soon, and it's a pretty tricky one. So once you leave the Pokemon Center, the rival's going to fight you here. Just make your way through that. And you're going to head left into Ilex Forest. I'd recommend using some repels so you can get through the puzzles a little bit easier. You talk to this dude and he says that his Farfetch is missing. So pretty much it'll face you when you step on the sticks and you do this and grab it from behind. Which is great, so you got the Farfetch back. But there's actually a second Farfetch that he wants, so this one's going to be a little bit trickier. To get the second Farfetch, we're just going to head up to this top right section here. Make sure you refresh your repels if you've been using those. So head up to the top right section here. And you want to talk to it here so that it runs away. You want to make its back go towards you there, and then go back through the top to grab it, just like that. And then this dude will give you Cut as a thank you for saving the 2 Farfetch, so we're going to get that HM. And then you need to teach that to that Pokemon that could learn Cut before. So in my case, that's Sandshrew. If you get really stuck, normally your starter Pokemon can learn Cut, but I usually wouldn't recommend that if you can avoid it. You can see there the Rattata could learn Cut as well, so that's another option for you. So now that we know Cut, we just go through this tree here and then head up through the forest. Again, this path here is pretty linear, so I just skip to the end here. Now eventually, once you're out of the forest, you're going to head up through this little bit here. You'll come across the daycare where this dude will usher you in, but you just talk to people until you're done. So if you want, you can put your Pokemon in daycare and potentially get an egg if you put 2 Pokemon in daycare, but you won't need to do that for now if you don't want to. Just keep heading up to the next city. Alright, once you've battled all the trainers, you're going to head up to the city, and there's a few different things to do here. Probably the first thing you want to do is heal up at the Poke Center. Now after the Poke Center, the next thing you're going to do is go to this radio tower here, and then you're going to get the radio card. So the answers are yes, yes, no, in that order. So yes and no. And if you answer that right, you're going to get the radio card, but almost more importantly, Whitney will notice that you got the radio card, and she'll go back to her gym. So you basically can't get past this section without getting the radio card because Whitney won't be in the gym if you don't do it. So we'll go to the gym here and Whitney should be here. By the way, you do need the radio card later on in the game, actually like almost near the end of the game. In the originals, you could go towards the end and not have the radio card and then have to come back and get it. But I guess in the remakes, they force you to get it before you move on. Alright, so you can basically just go along these bits and fight some trainers if you want to. When you're ready, you go through that door at the top and go past these trainers. And once you fought both of them, you can actually fight Whitney up the top here. Now, really importantly, once you fight Whitney, she won't actually give you a badge right away. You actually have to sort of leave and then talk to her again to get it. It's pretty easy to miss getting this badge if you don't know about it. Once you've done that, just head out of the gym, and then you're going to head in the house to the right of the gym here. So just this one. This person will be so impressed that you beat Whitney that she's going to give you a squirt bottle, and that lets you activate Pseudo Weirdo. This sort of lets you get to the next part of the game here. So there's one other thing we can do in Goldenrod City, and that's just go down to the right here and get the bike. The person gives you the bike for free as long as you agree to ride it around, and it's basically free advertisement for him that you're riding it around. So everybody wins. You can register this item, so you just hit register there, and then you just need to press the Y button to use your bike from now on. It's going to be a lot faster than walking. Anyway, we head out the top bit of Goldenrod City, and then we're just going to head to the next section. So just past the trainers here. Alright, once you've beaten all of them, you can go through this grass here and just cut down this tree. Alright, and we'll cut down that tree and head up and then right. And you'll see Pseudo Weirdo here. You just need to talk to it and then use the squirt bottle. I would recommend saving before this fight, because it's almost like a legendary Pokemon sort of. You want to save before it and then try and catch it. And if you can't catch it, you just reset your game and try again. But if you fail and accidentally kill Pseudo Weirdo or something, then you don't get another shot at it. So yeah, definitely save before this one. I use Hypnosis to try and put it to sleep, and that tends to make it easier to catch there, which is why I've done it. So you'll eventually catch Pseudo Weirdo. You don't have to catch it, but it's probably a good one to catch, especially if you want something to learn Rock Smash and Strength and stuff. So then basically you're going to talk to this dude, give you the berry pots. But more importantly than the berry pots, what we're going to do is head to the right. And we're going to talk to this guy. This guy will give us a Rock Smash, so it's a pretty important HM. So make sure you talk to him. Now, I'm actually just personally heading into this town to heal up. This is the town with the very first gym that we fought. It had the Bellsprout Tower and that flying gym. But we don't need to do much in here now. Pretty much all I'm doing is healing up, and then I'm going to head to the left out of town. Now, I'm also taking Pseudo Weirdo out of the box there, just because I want something strong in my party as my second Pokemon there. So that's partially why I went to the Poke Center as well. So you can't have more than 6 Pokemon on you, so that's why I pulled Pseudo Weirdo out and put Predator back in. But anyway, once you're done in this town, you can just head to the left. This is where we fought Pseudo Weirdo, so we just head up instead of right, and up through this section. Now this is where you're going to start getting into double battles, so you can see the beauty of having Pseudo Weirdo in the second spot of the party, because now we get a level 25 and a level 20 in this double battle. Alright, just head back up through the grass here, and then we're going to make our way up to the next town. And then you want to go into this little place to learn the move Surf. Pretty useful move. So in the original game you had to beat 5 trainers in here, but here you only have to beat 1. It's essentially this Team Rocket dude. If you beat him, you will get the Surf HM. So once you've beaten him, this dude comes out and teaches you Surf. And this is another reason why it's really good to start with Totodile, because we have a Pokemon now that can learn Surf right away. So that's literally what I'm going to do. Immediately I'm just going to teach Totodile Surf, or Croconaw I guess it is now. I don't know of a great solution for what Pokemon should learn Surf if you didn't pick the water starter. If you can find a Merrill in a grass somewhere, that's usually good. Or if you'd need to get a fishing rod and catch a water Pokemon that way. But it can be a little bit tricky to do. You go into this tower at the top left of town, and this dude talks about Suicune, who conveniently is just down there. And we're going to have our rival fight. Once we're done with the rival fight here, we just go down the little stairs. And then we wake up these legendary dogs, and then they run away. Now, fun fact, now that we've done that, on the world map, we can potentially battle the legendary dogs. You won't see it in this walkthrough, but it definitely can happen. So you might come across Entei or Raikou in the grass on any route in the game, and they sort of move around. So once you see it once, it's going to move to a different route once you've already battled it. They're very hard to catch, so when you come across Entei or Raikou, you're going to be able to weaken it. You have 1 turn before it runs away, so you can either weaken it or throw a Pokeball. But its health will stay the same the next time you battle it. So that's a potential way to get a level 40 Pokemon right now if you want it, but it's probably not worth it because you'd spend more time than it saves having level 40 Pokemon trying to actually find it and catch it. Anyway, we go into this gym here. This is fairly linear. If you have Bite, it's a really good move to use here. Now the gimmick when you beat a trainer in this gym is they sort of turn out the lights. So try and remember what the floor layout was like before they turn out the lights so you know where to go. If you take a wrong turn, you will fall off the edge. Anyway, you'll eventually get to the end and beat Morty. My Croconaw evolved here. It's always good to let your Pokemon evolve. They become a lot stronger. Anyway, when you're done, you can literally just run off the edge and head out of town. We're going to head to the right here. Now, really importantly, you head to the right here, you're going to get the move Strength, which is really good. This is actually different to where you got Strength in the original game. In the original game, you get it in Olivine City, sort of in just this little bar thing, but that dude just gives you Strength there. I'm fairly sure you don't need Strength now, but it doesn't hurt to grab it just in case. It's actually a really strong normal type move. If you do go into the Poke Center here, you'll see Bill, but this doesn't really affect much. I was really just going into the Poke Center to heal. So we want to heal up, and then once we've done this, we're going to head left out of town. Alright, so he's heading to the left here. Togepi will hatch as well, it's just worth noting, but there's nothing really special. Alright, so you're going to head left into this grass here, but just, yeah, sort of keep going left until you get past this route. Once you head left all the way you can, just head down from this section here. This dude just talks to you about a Safari Zone, but it's nothing really too important. So you can register him in the Poke, yeah, but once you've done that, you just want to head downwards. There we go, head down through this section, past all the trainers, and we're down to Olivine City, which is great. Your rival will talk to you here, but not battle you, so don't worry too much. And pretty much our first destination in the city is to go to the lighthouse. Very important to progress the story by going to the lighthouse here. So just head to the right, and we're going to be climbing up. It's got a different layout than the original game, so just keep climbing these steps. Now when you get to this room here, there's actually a door on the right. It's not entirely obvious that door's there, but basically that makes you fall out of the lighthouse, and then you can go through this little door section here. It's good to pick up that rare candy. A rare candy will level up your Pokemon 1 level, always worth it. Just on that though, I usually save my rare candies until towards the end of the game, because if you think about it, using a rare candy at like level 60 would give you more experience points than using a rare candy at level 30, because it just bumps you up a level regardless. So you can really use them wherever you want, but I save them until the end. Alright, it's going to head up this ladder here. Keep going up. And eventually you're going to come to the top here with this sick Pokemon. Basically, Jasmine's going to ask you to get some secret medicine for the sick Pokemon, and then we can head down the elevator and back into town. Alright, so back into town, we're just going to heal up quickly. And back out of the Poke Center here. So basically it's going to serve down and left, and that gets us to the next city here. So past all these trainers here. You can use repels if you want to get rid of the wild Pokemon. But we head into Cyanwood City. You want to go to the top here and you're going to see a little cutscene with Suicune. All of these cutscenes you want to see if you want to try and have a shot at catching Suicune. And then this trainer is going to give you a little battle. Anyway, once you beat the battle, you're going to head to the bottom of town here and go into this house. You talk to this dude, and he hears that the lighthouse Pokemon is sick, so he's going to give you the secret potion. Anyway, once you've done this, we're just going to heal up, and then we're going to take on the gym for this town. Now, this gym used to require you knowing Strength, but you don't anymore. All you have to do is go and hit the button at the top over here. So you fight that trainer, then you come back down, you fight this trainer. Now, with this trainer sort of out of the way, what you can do is duck up these stairs, head across, and go up and hit this switch. There we go. And then you can just talk to the gym leader here, and then hopefully win the battle. Anyway, once you're done this, you're just going to head out of the gym, and the person out the front of the gym will give you the HM for Fly, which is going to be really convenient. So this is why I told you to catch a bird Pokemon earlier, because bird Pokemon can normally learn Fly. Once you teach this to your bird Pokemon, you're going to be able to fly anywhere that you've already been to across the map. So in particular, we want to fly back to Olivine City, that city with the lighthouse. If you're finding any battles difficult at the moment, you can level up your Pokemon, obviously, or you can buy some X items in Goldenrod City. So Goldenrod City has like X attack or X special, which can temporarily, for a single battle, make you stronger. So it's worth considering if you're having trouble. So there's a few things that I've done. I've taught Fly to Hoot Hoot, and I've taught Strength and Rock Smash to Sandshrew. That's partially why Sandshrew is so good, because it can learn so many HMs. But we're going to fly back here, and basically we just got to go up the lighthouse again. So once you're ready, head into the lighthouse here, and you can just go up the elevator this time. You don't have to go up the way you normally came. So you're pretty much going to ride the elevator up, and then we're going to talk to Jasmine here. She'll be pretty happy that we're going to restore health to the Pokemon here. So then we're going to make our way out of the lighthouse, and Jasmine will now actually be in the gym for us, which is going to be really good. So get past this annoying phone call, and then we're just going to head to the gym. But before we do that, I'm actually going to go here and buy some more things. So we're going to buy Hyper Potions. Now that our Feraligator's got a bit more health, it's worth having Hyper Potions rather than Super Potions. I'm just going to stock up on some revives and bits and pieces like that. You should have a bit of money at the moment to buy stuff with. We're also going to get max repels, so it's a bit less annoying than just sitting there with normal repels. A couple of escape ropes, and then that should be all good. So we're going to head to the gym here. And pretty much these trainers won't really battle you in the gym. You just battle Jasmine. She's got all steel Pokemon, so usually like a water or a fire is going to be good against her. And once you're done with Jasmine, we're going to be done with this little gym area here. We can head back out. So next thing we're going to do is fly to this top middle town here. This is the same town we got Surf in and where we released the legendary dogs. And we're just going to head to the right. So this map here is the map where we got Strength from. If you didn't get it before, the guy would just stop you now to learn Strength. And we're going to head to the right across the water. So if we cut this tree here, we get another Suicune cutscene. And this dude gets annoyed that he didn't see Suicune again this time. We can head to the right across this water here, and we're going to get to our next town. So yeah, just be sure to keep repelling if you're trying to use that to avoid Pokemon as well. Always useful. Alright, so once we get into this town, we're just going to head up. And we're about to go and catch something called the Red Gyarados. So it's really cool. Pokemon has a thing called Shiny Pokemon, where there's like a 1 in 8,000 chance of your Pokemon being another color. Oh, by the way, this is Entei as well, what I was talking about. You can try and throw a Pokeball at it, but it probably won't work very well. All you really want to do is weaken it for the next time you try and catch it. But anyway, Pokemon has a thing called Shiny Pokemon, which means they could be a different color. And it just so happens that every time you come across this Gyarados here, as part of the storyline, it is a Shiny Gyarados, so it's red. So definitely catch this, because Shiny Pokemon are pretty sought after. But yeah, the premise is Team Rocket is messing with the Pokemon in this lake, causing them to evolve, and then that's turned Gyarados red in this case, so it's all part of the story here. The other reason you really want to catch Gyarados is because it's good at learning all the water HMs, so it can learn Surf, although you should already have something with Surf. It can learn Waterfall, and it can learn Whirlpool. So you're going to need to teach both those moves, and you don't want to use up all your move slots on Feraligatr if you got it. So you could try and put it to sleep if you want, but it's probably not going to work out very well for you. But eventually you should be able to get in a situation where you can weaken it and throw a Pokeball at it. And generally Ultra Balls will work a bit better than Pokeballs, so try and use those if you can. Alright, once we got the Gyarados, that's going to be really good. I would recommend catching it, really would. Again, you want to save in front of the Gyarados so that you can have another go at it if you mess it up. Then you really need to talk to Lance here. Talking to Lance will progress the story forward, and then you want to just fly back to that town straight underneath where we are now. So we just hit fly, back down there. And then once we're in this town, we're going to go through into the little Team Rocket hideout. So might want to heal up first and pull Gyarados out of the PC as well. But once we're healed out, you're going to head into this little building here, and Lance will be raiding it. So there's a secret stairwell behind there, and that brings us into Team Rocket HQ. So this section's fairly linear. If you hit these statues, you're going to come across trainers. So you basically just want to keep continuing on left past these statues. The other weird thing that happens is there's like a floor that triggers wild Pokemon battles as well. So once you get past all these trainers here, it's quite a few, you're going to come across this floor with the wild battles, but you just continue down. So basically the whole path you want to take through this bit is left and then you go down these stairs. So down those stairs there, and then we're going to get another cutscene. You want to head out here, fight this Team Rocket dude, and then head downstairs. So when you head downstairs, he talks about there being passwords. So this person has a password, so you want to fight this person. But really importantly, you want to talk to this person again after you've beaten them. Otherwise, they won't give you the password. And then the other person is this scientist here. So again, you just fight this scientist. and then you talk to them again after you've beaten them, and that gets you the password. So that was an item there, the X special I was talking about. If you use that in a battle, it'll boost your special for that battle, which means your like special attacks are stronger. Special attacks are things like, you know, like a bubble beam or a surf, whereas physicals are like scratching or punching or whatever. So if you want physical attack stronger, it's X attack, whereas if you want special attack stronger, it's X special. But now that you got both those passwords, we can head through this section here, and you should come across this room. So your rival will come, but he won't battle you or anything. You can pick up on Ultra Ball and talk to this dude. You will have a battle with this dude, so you just win that. And then what you want to do is talk to the Murkrow behind him. So the Murkrow is just this little bird thing sitting here. So we'll talk to that Murkrow. And then you sort of like follow it back throughout Team Rocket HQ. So there we go, back up these stairs, you follow it. Back down these stairs, you follow it. And then you go up these stairs, you follow it to this door, and then the Murkrow will open the door for you by assigning the password. You then have battles with these Team Rocket guys. It's like a double battle with Lance's Dragonite, which is a really cool premise, I like it. So then you want to head up to the generator. Lance wants you to kill the 3 electrodes on the left, so that's what you do. You just go and you kill those electrodes. And then once you've done that, you get a HM5, which is cool. And then we're going to head back out. So to get out of this section, it's pretty easy. You just hit this yellow circle and then you walk up the stairs. That's all you need to do. So Professor Elm will call us. But we're just going to head out here. And we're going to have a go at this ice gym. So there's a little floor pattern here. You can push those blocks up like that to make it 3. Next one here, you will have to fight this trainer, unless you let it spin and not see you. But basically, then the puzzle here is push those blocks right and head up through the door. Then here, you can make this trainer not see you if you want. But then, what you want to do is go up and fight this trainer. And then go left on the ice blocks and up towards the leader. Once you've done the leader fight, that'll be this gym done. So just work your way through that. And then you get the badge. Once we got the badge, we're going to head out of the gym. So you just head back down through all the doors, really. So through here, and through here. And then finally it's back out through this section. And we're out back into Mahogany Town. Professor Elm will give you a call, and this is going to prompt us to go to the next section of the game. There's something funky happening with the radio in Goldenrod City. So we've already been to this city before, which means we can fly back to it. So just pick your flying Pokemon, in my case that's Hoot Hoot, and you're going to fly back to Goldenrod City. We're then going to go into the Poke Center and just heal up a little bit. Ready for our next section. Alright, once you've done that, basically what we need to do is dress up as a Team Rocket member. So we're going to go into this tunnel down here. And then we're going to head sort of, well, that's a locked door, so that's not going to be very useful to us. We're going to head up here. And he says get dressed for the photo shoot, so that's exactly what we do. We get dressed, and then once we've done that, we can just head back out. Now that we're dressed as Team Rocket, we can actually get into the radio tower. This is a bit different to the original game. In the original game, you can just walk up into the radio tower. But here we talk to this dude for a little bit. And then we battle him. That dude won't let you up if you're not dressed like Team Rocket. But now our disguise is gone, but we can still get up into the radio tower, so that's exactly what we'll do. And you just want to do this. This is fairly linear all the way up here, so he's finding a whole bunch of Team Rocket people working their way upstairs. You might notice there's a door that you can't open yet on one of the floors, but that's not a huge deal. We're just going to get to that later. So keep fighting these. And then we'll make our way upstairs. And then we're going to fight the director here. Well, it's not the real director, it's like a fake one. Alright, so this dude's going to be pretty impressed that you beat him, so he's going to head back out. So we're going to leave the radio tower section here. And back out into Goldenrod City. You might notice that one of my Pokemon got poisoned here, so we'll need to heal up at a Poke Center. Now, the basement key is near where we had to dress up as Team Rocket. So what we're going to do is just heal up our Pokemon quickly. Head out of the Poke Center and then head down here into this tunnel. In this tunnel here, we're just going to go to the right, up through this door. You talk to this lady for a bit. But basically, the basement key is going to open this door here. And then we're going to make our way in. And you get your rival. And you actually do have to fight the rival this time, so do the best that you can here. Use those X items if you're getting stuck. Remember, the X items you can buy from Goldenrod Department Store. And then once you've fought your rival, you're going to have to do another Team Rocket fight here with the dude just to your left. But you beat that, and then you got access to these 3 switches. So the order you want to push the switch is red, then green, and then blue. And then we're going to make our way down through this door and fight this Team Rocket. Alright, so you go through this door. You can just grab some goodies along the way. There's an Ultra Ball there, always worth getting. Fight this Team Rocket person. You get a Max Ether. Now that's a very important item. It restores your power points, like how many times you can use a move. Really, really good, especially for the Elite Four. And you can't buy those, so definitely hold on to that Max Ether. Don't use it yet. You talk to the director here, and he gives you a card key to get back up into the radio tower. So that's cool. So we're going to take that card key and head back out. You get the amulet coin. I would attach that to your first Pokemon in your party. The amulet coin is going to double the amount of money you get from a battle, so really worth having on your main Pokemon there. Now we're going to head up here. There's a couple things that I'd recommend doing. So I'm going to go straight up to this floor here and head out. So I'm going to talk to this person, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of X items. This is what I keep talking about before. The X items you can use at the start of a battle, and it will sort of make your way stronger. And you get a lot of the X special, and that'll sort of power up Surf, whereas the X attack will power up moves like Bite and stuff like that. There's another thing that I'm going to get, and that's the TM for Blizzard. This is only really good if you got for Alligator. I'll need to sell some stuff to make it work, really. But basically, when I get the TM for Blizzard, I can teach that to for Alligator. It's going to be a very strong move, like very strong, but it's not as accurate. So if you want, you can have Blizzard or you can keep Ice Fang, but this is a really good time to do the shopping since we're already going to the shop anyway. But definitely get yourself some of those X items, especially for tricky battles like the very last one at the end of the game. Pretty useful stuff to have. Alright. So back into the radio tower, we're going to head up and we're going to use our brand new card key to open up the door. So just up to the left here. And then we're going to open up this door with the card key. You're just going to get through the Team Rocket battle. Open up that door with the card key and then head up the stairs. You want to talk to this Team Rocket person. Maybe get the item behind him. Head up the stairs again. Talk to Ariana. And then win this battle. Alright, then we need to go into the elevator above her, and then you just go up here and talk to this dude. Alright. So, pretty much what's going to happen now is the game's going to open up to catch the main legendary of the game. So if you're playing Pokemon Heart Gold, you're going to catch Ho-Oh now, and if you're playing Pokemon Soul Silver, you're going to catch Lugia. Given this is Heart Gold that I'm using the footage from here, I'm going to be catching Ho-Oh. But catching Lugia is pretty similar. So to catch Ho-Oh, you need to go to the very top town of the map, sort of in that middle where the Ghost Gym was and where you release the legendary dogs. To catch Lugia, you've got to go to Olivine City and sort of surf through the water there. But we just leave the radio tower here and I'll show you where to go to catch Ho-Oh. Actually, my apologies. You can't catch Ho-Oh quite yet. You need to beat the next gym first. I had my town orders mixed up a little bit there. But basically, you just want to fly out to Mahogany Town here. And then we can heal up at the Poké Center. Once you're ready, bike to the right through to Route 44. And we're going to go to the Ice Cave. This will bring us to the next and last town of the Johto region here. So if you're used to a normal Pokemon game, you'll think it's wrapping up about now. We're about to get our 8th gym badge, but in fact, this one's twice as long. There's 16 badges because we're going to go to a new region after the Elite Four. This dude will want to take a photo of us, so you might as well let him. Now there's some ice puzzles, so just keep an eye on how I'm getting through this one here, and in particular the next one here. This one's really important. We get a HM called Waterfall. You will need that to progress through the game later, so make sure you get that. And this dude even says he dropped the HM for Waterfall here, just so that you don't accidentally miss it. Anyway, you'll head down through this ladder, and then you got this room with all the boulders. So with these boulders here, you just want to use strength. And then you want to push them like this. I think this is the first time we've had to use strength so far. Strength, yeah, you can teach it to like a rock Pokemon, or in my case, Sandshrew. But you basically want to just push the boulders down these holes. This boulder here is going to go down the next hole to the left there. Make sure you're still repelling if you want to get rid of those pesky wild Pokemon. And the boulder goes down the hole there. Next boulder here will go on the hole above it. So you can pretty much just do that. But basically, now this boulder here we need to just set up at that hole there, which we'll have to loop back around to get to. So yeah, this boulder we can push to the right and go up to push in the hole there. And then the other boulder you had to push up from underneath, so now we just push it to the right and down, and that brings us through. Once you got the 4 boulders in place, I actually think you need less than 4, but I can never remember which ones you need, so I just do 4. Pretty much what you want to do is head where you'd come out of this ladder and then take the path like I'm taking there. You get the full heal if you want, and then head through this ladder here. So this is a section where Rock Smash can come in handy, but I don't think you necessarily need it, because you can just walk around that bit. Then we just want to head out here, go through this ladder. And this one. And then the Kimono girl will be stuck here. So she'll ask you to push her, but when you push her, you got to push her from behind. So you basically just want to ride the ice back around. So you get here. And to get in behind the Kimono girl, this is sort of the path that you take. And then you want to push her from the back. And she'll slide across the ice like that. And then we're into the next town. So this town has a dragon gym. This is why I said the move Blizzard was very useful before if you have a Feraligatr, because Blizzard's super effective against dragon. But you might want to avoid teaching it quite yet because you've still got Ice Fang, which has a lot of PP and a lot of accuracy. Either move should be good because Ice is good against dragons. So pretty much you rotate that platform there, come across your first dragon trainer. So we'll beat that. Any dragon Pokemon you see, try and use Ice on them if you can. So this platform up, rotate, rotate, and then go up. Just follow these rotation paths that I'm doing. They can get a bit hectic, but there you go. So you got another dragon trainer to fight, so he's going to get through that. Alright, next platform, we're going to go up, we're going to move left. Rotate it around, and then head up through this section. And then just keep rotating it around like so until you get to the gym leader. There we go. So this gym leader again has a bunch of dragon Pokemon. Just do the best that you can against it. And eventually you should be able to win the battle. Maybe use those X items if you get really stuck. You can also revive your Pokemon if you have a revive. So I bought a whole bunch of them before, anticipating not doing very well in this battle. So you can take the warp back. Claire hasn't given you the gym badge yet. So what you need to do is, well, first of all, heal up. But then you want to go behind the gym here into the dragon's den. So he's going to take this door through there. And then we're going to head down through this ladder and across. Past this dragon trainer. Into the water. And this is the first and one of the only times we'll actually have to use the move Whirlpool. So we should have picked up Whirlpool before. I think you pick it up from Lance in Mahogany Town if I'm not mistaken. But this is one of the really good uses of the red Gyarados. You can just teach all these water HMs to it. Saves you having to have another water Pokemon in your party or find another water Pokemon. So you have Whirlpool for Gyarados, and then you just use a Whirlpool in front of the Whirlpool. While I'm here, I'm going to teach Waterfall to Gyarados just because we'll need it a little bit later. Alright, so now we got those two things taught. We're just going to go into the Whirlpool and press A, and it'll sort of bring us across. Once you're across the Whirlpool, you just want to go into this bottom room here. Now, my advice for this Dragon Den section is just to write the most sort of empathetic answers you can think of. So yeah, I put like friend there, training, anyone, love, both. It's like anything that makes you look like you care about Pokemon, and then you generally pass this test. So you get the badge for the Dragon Gym, and that's actually all 8 Johto badges there now. So good, we've got that. We're then now going to escape rope out of the Dragon's Den. Really good, saves you walking all the way back up. We'll get a call from Professor Elm, who's saying that we need to go to his lab. So the real good thing about going to the lab now is we're about to get the Master Ball. I mentioned you're going to catch Ho-Oh or Lugia at this point, now that we've actually done this gym. And the Master Ball would be a very good tool for catching those. Although realistically, if you're looking for sort of playing this game long term, I would save your Master Ball for one of the roaming Pokemon usually, like a Raikou or an Entei or something. Or just, when I was a kid, I used to just not use it at all because I liked having it just in case. You know, just in case I had like a shiny Pokemon who was going to get away or something, or I wanted to use a cloning glitch to clone it or something. Not that there is a cloning glitch in this game, but anyway, we're going to head back here. So regardless of what you do, you got to go to this town here, and you got to fight the Kimono Girls. So the Kimono Girls will be in this building here. Your rival just comes out of it, and you got to fight all 5. They all have different evolutions, so just get through these battles here. So they give you the Clear Bell, which is our last thing to catch Ho-Oh. Just remember, if you're playing Soul Silver, you'll be catching Lugia, which means you fly near Olivine City and go to the Whirl Islands. But instead here, we're going to talk to this dude. He'll let us through. And we get up into Bell Tower. So yeah, he lets us up the stairs, and then we're going to go on our little journey to catching Ho-Oh. So I'll show you the path through Bell Tower. It can be very complicated, but if you just follow the way that I do it, you should be alright. Probably repels are going to be a good idea if you can. And you can already see just how complicated this place gets. It's pretty messy. Max Potion is going to be a really good item to have as well. Very useful. Now they have these little warpy points, but I usually don't worry about them. Max Revive's definitely worth picking up there. Take this warpy point. Take that warpy point. And that one. And you get the full restore here, which is a very useful item. Take the next warpy point. And up the ladder. Up that ladder. And my goodness, we're at the top. So you're about to fight Ho-Oh. Make sure you save before you do this fight, because if you kill Ho-Oh, you can't get it back, or, you know, if it defeats you, you run into issues. So save before this happens, and then you fight Ho-Oh now. If you want to just catch it easily, you can use the Master Ball on it, that's fine. Just be aware you only get one in the entire game. You can save at this point before you talk to Ho-Oh. But yeah, so if you want to do it sort of properly, so to speak, you can weaken it and then use like Ultra Balls and stuff like that. Anyway, you're eventually going to try and catch Ho-Oh. If you can, putting it to sleep is good, so if you've got like Hypnosis or something like that, but just try and weaken it down to red health if you can't do that. Keep throwing Ultra Balls at it and eventually you'll be able to catch it. It's definitely not easy. But look, if you just want to get through the game, it's probably the hardest Pokemon you'll have to catch, so you could use the Master Ball on it. I'd also recommend a bit later on taking it out of your PC and putting it in your party. It's quite a strong Pokemon, so you'd want that as a second Pokemon in case you need to do double battles, or in case you like get fainted with your main Pokemon and need to use a backup or something. Anyway, we're going to restore our health, but we're also going to pull that Ho-Oh out of the PC there. And then we're going to fly back to New Bark Town. So this is the very start of the game here, and then you just surf right, essentially. So when we surf right, we're going towards an area called the Kanto region, which if you played the very first Pokemon game, or Fire Red and Leaf Green, that's a region from the first game. So here we go. Our main priority here is to get to the Pokemon League, which is just to the right. Just be aware if you surf down here, you're going to get a rare candy, so that could be worth doing if you're wanting some more levels on your Pokemon. At any rate, just surf back here after getting the rare candy, and we're about to go into Tohojo Falls, which means we need the waterfall move. This is one of the only times that we need the waterfall move in the game, but we taught it earlier to our Gyarados, so we're just going to use that. If you don't have it for whatever reason, it's in the Ice Cave to the right of Mahogany Town with the waterfall move. But we go up and down that waterfall, and then we're going to make our way across. So this route is fairly linear. All you need to do is head to the right and then up. So I'll sort of zoom through it pretty quickly. You'll get into a whole bunch of trainer battles here. Just keep going up. Alright, once you've done that enough, you're going to come across the sort of the Pokemon League gate. These are supposed to be the gatekeepers that check your badges, and then we want to head up into Victory Road. So we're going to use Strength to move that boulder there. We get a nice little item there, a little potion. Head up through the little stairwell here. Once you've done that, you can circle back to get this item. And you just head up. So there's a max revive there, those are always worth getting. A normal revive that you buy from the shop will only revive you to half health when you use it, but a max revive revives you to full health. It can be good for those really tense battles like the Elite Four coming up or the very end battle of the game. So fall down this hole here and you should come to this section here. You can sort of use strength to get around it. What you can do if you want to get that item is just strength boulder there and then go underneath it and then sort of circle around. So go underneath, circle around. You get this item, which is a full restore. That's probably worth having, even though we can buy them. And then we want to go up this ladder. Grab that. It's an Ultra Ball. You can't go wrong with Ultra Balls. You're going to fall down this top hole here. Top hole just purely because you might want to grab that item. And then head out. Again, another item, Rare Candy. That's a really good one to have. Now could be a good time to use your Rare Candy if you want to gain a bunch of levels. And you come across your rival, so we're just going to do that fight. And then once that fight's done, we're going to make our way up towards the Elite Four. So remember, if you have like X attacks or X specials, it can make the fights a lot easier if you use them right at the start. Just remember they wear off if you switch out your Pokemon. So we're at the Indigo Plateau and we're about to fight the Elite Four. So here it is. Make sure you stock up on items and you heal. So you want lots of full restores. Full restores will restore all your health and any status conditions. You want lots of revives. And if you're worried about money, you can get hyper potions instead of full restores to do some of your health restores. Make sure you heal up at this Poké Center and make sure you save before you go into the Elite Four. If you die against the Elite Four, you'll just come back here, but I usually like to save in between every trainer on the Elite Four. So, yep, we're let into the Elite Four and we're just going to go through these battles. I won't talk too much about these battles, but I'll just skip right to the end here. Just make sure you're looking up type charts and using them, or using your X special and X attack items if you're having a lot of trouble. Remember, those X items can be bought at Goldenrod. So eventually you're going to get through the Elite Four, and then you're going to go up to this room here and you get the credits for the game. But the game itself actually is not finished yet. Just be aware of that. We're going to have to do the whole Kanto region, which means we're getting another 8 badges and we're doing a big final fight at the end of the game. So let the credits play out and then we'll reconverge back at New Bark Town. Alright, when you load up your save file again, you'll be at New Bark Town, basically where you started the game, although Professor Elm will be keen to talk to you. So we'll see how we go. Down here, the mum will talk to you about Professor Elm wanting to see you. Professor Elm comes in and gives you the SS ticket. So basically now that you got the SS ticket, what you need to do is fly to Olivine City, and that's going to have a boat in there. So with that boat, we just head into it. Professor Oak talks to us briefly, but we can head on that boat. Now once we're in here, this dude's looking for his granddaughter. So what you need to do is talk to this sailor here. He says that his other sailor friend is taking it easy somewhere. So now we got to go and find his sailor friend. His sailor friend's in this room here. Sorry, not this room here. This room here. And you've got to fight and battle this sailor dude. So once you've done that, he'll promise to go back to work. So then you head out of this door here and up into that central section like we saw the dude before blocking our path. He will now not block our path, so we can head up and we can talk to the captain. So the captain is in this room here and the girl is bothering the captain. Then the girl ends up playing hide and seek. So we got to go back up here through the ladder. We take a left and we can see the girl playing hide and seek just on the left here. Talk to her. And then she gets returned to her grandpa. At that point, they say the ship has landed. So now we're in the Kanto region, like proper. We're in Vermilion City. So this has the first gym that we want to tackle. It is the electric type gym. And there's a little cutscene with Suicune just before this. So we're going to go to the electric type gym. If you want, you can do these gyms in pretty much any order. So you could think about what type Pokemon you have, and maybe I should have left the electric type one till last, because electric is good against Feraligatr. With opening the door in Surge's gym, you want to find a bin that has the first switch in it, and then the second one is usually in a bin right next to the first bin. So it's just a little bit of trial and error finding out which one works best. So with that battle down, we got 1 out of 8 Kanto badges, and we're just going to sweep through and get all the badges quite quickly. So cut this tree down. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to head up and heal up first, but then head up out of town. And we're heading up into Saffron City. So we're going to go to the Psychic Gym next, so it's here. Now, my strategy for the floor pads is take a left after the first one. This person usually battles you. And then just after you've taken a left after the first one, just go into whatever one is above or below the one you came out of. So just keep going vertical rather than horizontal. And you'll eventually get through to Sabrina, who's the gym leader. So keep fighting these. Keep healing up. And we'll get to the gym leader there. Once we're done the gym leader, Crunch is going to be really good against this gym, by the way. Once we're done the gym leader, you get the badge and you head back out. You can just take this little warp point to the left there and head out of Saffron City. So now we're done with Saffron, we're going to head left into Celadon City. So with Celadon City, just go up into there, heal up, why not? There's actually a grass gym in this town, so he's going to head down to the bottom of town and do this cut tree. The grass gym's a little bit awkward to navigate, but basically you just like dip in and out of the arches where there's gaps in the side. Alright, you get to the end of the gym and Erica challenges you to a battle. And if you have, for Alligator, like an Ice Fang or a Blizzard, it's going to be really good for this. We're done with Erica, so we're just going to leave the gym now through the same way we came. I will play this in reverse, just in case you were stuck getting to the end of the gym there. This is sort of the path that you want to take. Down through here. And yeah, this is just the way out. The way in is that same thing, but in reverse. Once we've done that, we can actually just fly back to the town we're currently in and head to the left. What we're going to do next is head down to Fuchsia City. And that just is another badge that we can grab pretty quickly there. So always heal up in the Poké Center here. Head to the left. And this brings us on to something called Cycling Road, which pretty much forces you onto a bike. If you don't have the bike, you need to go to Goldenrod City and just go to a house in the bottom right of that. Alright, so out of here we're into Fuchsia City, and pretty much we just need to do the Poison Gym. So the Poison Gym here, you can see little walls blocking our way. The gym leader is where the gym leader was in the original game, it's just right here, and so we'll fight that gym leader. Fun fact, the original gym leader in the original Gen 1 games was Koga, but now Koga's an Elite 4 member. Alright, so we get a badge from this gym, and then we're just going to head back out of the gym. So same way we came, we're just heading out. Then what we're going to do is fly back to Saffron City. And we're going to sort of go up and do the Cerulean City, all this power plant side quest. So from at this point, we've just been able to blast through all the Kanto gyms pretty quickly. But this one's going to be a little bit slower. We got to head up out of town. And then up past the daycare. But what we're going to do is go right. Through this route, you're going to have to fight this trainer. And just keep heading to the right till you get to the end of the route. And you're going to come across this little pool of water to surf in. So surf in that. You want to head down and to the left into the power plant. And then in the power plant, you've got to talk to the dude up here. This dude sort of runs the power plant. And then if you've done that right, then this guard will come and alert the scientist that there's a missing part in Cerulean City. So that's what we're going to head back to. First thing that you want to do when you get to this city is go into the gym itself. And a Team Rocket dude will run straight past you saying that you dropped a piece. Now, unlike the original games, you have to go and chase down this Team Rocket. You can't just do it if you know where the piece is. So we're going to head out, up Nugget Bridge. And after a little while, you'll see the Team Rocket just hanging out here. So you can talk to him and do a battle. Once you've done the battle, he'll tell you where the machine part is. So we need to head back into the gym at this point. And we can get the machine part. It just lives right in here. There we go, that's the machine part. So this will restore the power plant later, which we need to progress the story. Alright, so back out. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to head up again onto Nugget Bridge. And you want to go past all the trainers here. There's heaps of them. Anyway, once you get to the top of Nugget Bridge, you're going to come across Misty, who's going to be pretty annoyed at you for bothering her. Anyway, yeah, go back to Cerulean City here, and now Misty will actually be in the gym and actually be willing to challenge you. So you just go out to the top of the gym here and battle her. Alright, so once you get the badge, we're pretty much done in this little section. Next thing we need to do is head back to the power plant and return that stolen machine part. So once you're out of the gym, you just head to the right here, bike all the way through Route 9. This is where we were before to get to the power plant. Cut down that tree. And then we just surf up on this top bit. We surf all the way down. And that brings us to the power plant here. Returning the stolen machine part, what that does is it makes Lavender Town's radio station operational again. And then they'll give you the Kanto expansion card for your radio. That will let us wake up a Snorlax. It's a big schmozzle trying to get through to Pewter City, but this is essentially how you do it. Alright, so we leave the power plant. Next thing we need to do is get to Lavender Town. So the easiest way to do that is we fly through to Saffron, unless you've already unlocked Lavender Town, of course. Fly through to Saffron, and then we're going to head to the right to get to Lavender Town. So we head right out of Saffron City, through here. You can avoid most trainers on this just by like strategically cutting through trees and stuff. You will have to fight this dude though. Anyway, once we get into Lavender Town, we're going to go into the radio station here and talk to this dude. Funny thing is, you have to talk to this dude to beat the game. It's a bit bizarre. Anyway, so now that we've done that, we're going to fly back to the very first town we came to in Kanto, Vermilion City. And we're going to go towards the Snorlax here. The Snorlax is right on the right edge of Vermilion City, blocking Diglett Cave. So with this Snorlax here, we go to the Pokegear, we hit the radio button, and we go up to this spot, which is Pokeflute. There we go. And then when we unpause, we just talk to the Snorlax, and we've woken up the Snorlax using the Pokeflute. So now you just got to do your best to catch Snorlax by awakening it and throwing Pokeballs at it. Unless you still have your Master Ball, in theory you could use that. Or if you want, you can just kill the Snorlax. It's up to you. I opted to catch the Snorlax here. At this point, it could also be worth putting Snorlax in your party, as there's a pretty hard fight coming up soon, and you want all the strong Pokemon you can get. Next, we're going to go to Diglett Cave. So you just head down this ladder, and we just basically want to go up. This cave is quite linear. All you need to do is just go up, left, up, left, up, left, up, left. You don't need to climb any of the bridges or do any of the weird shenanigans. When you're out of Diglett Cave, we're going to go and cut this tree, and if you know the original games, you will notice this is Pewter City, and this is sort of like the Viridian Forest area. This gym is going to be pretty straightforward. It's just a rock gym, so we're fighting Brock here, and we'll make our way up. Anyway, Brock's right at the top, and we'll challenge you to a battle. And then eventually should be able to go through and win that one. That gives us yet another gym badge. We've got 2 more gym badges to get at this point. You'll notice Kanto goes a lot quicker than Johto. In terms of total playtime of the game, Kanto's maybe like a third of the whole game, whereas Johto is more about 2/3. Alright, so we fly back to Pewter City just to save us walking out of that gym, I suppose, and we're going to head down. You can go through Viridian Forest if you want, but I'm just going to opt to skip Viridian Forest by using Cut to get around it. Just through this little toll gate thing here. Elixir is a brilliant item. Make sure you get that one. It's going to be very helpful. Alright, now we're just going to head down through Viridian City. And down through Route 1. And eventually we're going to make our way down into Pallet Town. Alright, so Pallet Town we're just going to zoom straight past. We'll come back here a little bit later. But we're going to keep going south until we get to Cinnabar Island. That is our goal. So you keep going, you keep going. Cinnabar Island is destroyed, but we want to talk to Blue here. He kind of looks like Gary from the original. And then we want to surf down here. And we're actually going to go towards the Cinnabar Island gym. Now you might be wondering, how does Cinnabar Island have a gym? Well, the gym is sort of off the island over this way. So you surf to the right, and our goal is to get to Seafoam Islands, which is where that gym is. So just get through this trainer battle here. See what you can do. And then, when you're in Seafoam Islands, you just go through the door, you take the ladder straight up, and that brings you to the gym. So you just want to fight all these trainers and work your way to the center. You'll fight Blaine, who's the fire gym leader, and then make your way out. So as soon as you make your way out of the gym, you immediately want to fly back to Cinnabar Island, and we can talk to Blue again. So now Blue will be so thrilled that you beat the Cinnabar gym that they're actually willing to battle you. So Blue, you talk to them, they scurry off, and then they go into Viridian City. You want to heal up your Pokemon, of course, and then go up to the gym in here. I'm teaching for Alligator Blizzard at this point over Ice Fang just because I'd rather have a strong move than a consistent move, because at this point I can just reset if a fight goes bad, because I've saved beforehand. You got these little floor panels. I'll show you how to get through those. So it's the right one, and then let's go left, up, right, and then right, and then right. And that brings you to the gym leader without fighting any other trainers. And you can just fight this battle as normal. You'll get through it. So you can see me using a few X items there just to help the situation, and we gradually make our way through the battle. And then at the end, you should be able to beat this. Alright, so that's our last badge. We've now got all 16 badges from Kanto. There's sort of one more task that we need to do to beat the game and get sort of the real best ending. So Professor Oak's going to call us here. Professor Oak would like us to come and visit him in Pallet Town, so that's exactly what we're going to do. So you can sort of just fly. It's the town straight underneath where we are now. There it is. Alright, so we talked to Professor Oak, and pretty much he does two things. He opens up the path to Mount Silver for us, and he gives us the HM for Rock Climb. So HM8 is Rock Climb. Make sure you get a Pokemon that can learn it before you go up to the mountain here. Then we want to fly over here. This is Route 26, so we just fly to this bit and go left. This was like the Indigo Plateau sort of thing. Alright, next you'll probably your way through this, and there should be a Pokemon Center here. Make sure you're healed up. Absolutely crucial. You have to be healed up before you go in here, because this is by far the hardest fight in the game. By an absolute mile. Like, it's very difficult. You'll want to level up significantly before you get in here. Alright, so we're going to teach Rock Climb to Sandshrew. Once again, coming in handy for HM. Sandshrew, very good if you can get it. You Rock Climb up this wall here. So there we go. And you want to go through here. We can then go up these little paths here to get into this cave door. Make your way through. Keep repelling. Anyway, you want to go up these big stairs to get to this cave door. And then sort of weave your way up through this section. And up through that main bit there. Alright, we can then head through that cave door. Use another repel. And just head out to the outside section there. And there's a couple little rock climbs to do, so we'll do that. Rock climb. So there's a rare candy in that rock, which is good because you're going to want all the levels you can possibly get. This next fight that you're going to do, the Pokemon are like in the 80s. That's the sort of level you're looking at. So it's a big jump from the previous fights that we've been doing. Anyway, you want to head out this door and just rock climb up here. And this is sort of how you get towards the end of the game. So through the central section. So we're about to do the famous Red fight. So Red is the original protagonist from the original Gen 1 games. Sort of like Ash, if you want to think of it like that, but they're not the same person. There's Red. Definitely save before Red. Use up all your rare candies, all your proteins, everything. My level for Alligator is way too low. Go in with a much higher level. You want to at least be in the 80s and maybe have a couple Pokemon. Have Snorlax in your party, have everything. I just barely made it by having a lot of luck and using X items essentially, but you need to save before this battle. Absolutely crucial. But if you can get yourself into a position where you got a good Pokemon that's got a lot of X items applied, you should be alright. After an insanely difficult fight, you will eventually get to the end if you've leveled up enough and trained enough, and you beat Red. And that is the end of the game. That's everything. So again, I hope you found this useful. I should have more coming out like this regularly, and thanks so much for watching.